Hi, I'm Eric.
And I'm Dick. We are the Annuity Guys.
Dick, is $1 million enough to retire on?
Well, you used to think it was, but now I would have to say it depends.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not talking about adult diapers.
No, we're not wearing any adult diapers. So. No, the song it jumps in my mind. You know, if I had $1 million,
sing it, Eric.
I'd be rich. I'd be rich. So the problem is $1 million enough to retire on anymore when you look at what it'll buy you in kind of guarantees?
Sure. Well, and I think that's the question.
Right.
Is it guaranteed income, or is it income that's coming from securities which fluctuate? And so if we look at that rule of thumb, I mean, we're talking 3 to 4%. Standard type of financial planning principles. So 3 to 4% is $30,000 to $40,000 on $1 million.
Yeah. So the big question is, how much do you need in addition to Social Security or pensions or
exactly?
So does it get you where you need to go?
I think, Eric, from the folks that we talk with, there's a large percentage of those folks that it does get them where they need to be. Yeah. Now, the article that kind of got us going on this was Yahoo Finance.
Right.
And they're saying, hey, $1 million used to get you there, but it doesn't always get you there now.
Yeah.
So
everybody wanted to be a millionaire. I remember as a kid, I wanted to be a millionaire. Now I want to be a billionaire, because when you think about what that $1 million will get you in guarantees, $40,000 sounds like it's a decent amount of money. Mm-hmm. But when you think about a life expectancy now of probably for most people in retirement in excess of 30 years, good chance that 35 years, you might have to make withdrawals a little bit smaller than that in order to be comfortable. And if you think about what $30,000 buys today,
and what it's going to buy tomorrow.
Well, compared to what it bought 30 years ago,
it's a huge difference.
Oh yeah.
There's so many variables, and this is what I think we get to see, and most folks understand that they've got a unique situation, but the variables are how much Social Security. How much pension? What's your standard of living? What are your expectations? Are you going to spend money early on? Are you concerned about your spouse, predeceasing a spouse? And so the question about $1 million, it could very well not be enough money. Right. It could also be more than adequate, just depending on those variables.
Right. The state of the economy, how much everything grows. I know when I look at people that have pensions, and we often ask them, hey, would you trade your pension in? Because a lot of people have been offered these lump sum buyouts. Right. When you look at a pension, I just had a conversation with a guy, $70,000 in pension income. It'd probably take $2.5 to $3 million in savings and equivalent to get to that number, utilizing other guaranteed products today.
And if I gave you the scenario, look, I'll give you, Eric, $2.5 billion, but you have to leave it in the securities market, okay? You have to leave it there, and you have to let it ride up and down. You can't put it in anything safe or guaranteed. Or you can have a pension.
Most people won't give up the pension.
Well, the surveys, they go out one right after another. Folks value that pension very highly in retirement. However, the folks who have the $2.5 million also value the $2.5 million. So they're not sure what to do with it.
Nobody wants to give up their $2.5 million in order to get
the pension,
$70,000 a year for life. Now,
we all want our cake and eat it too.
Exactly. But I can tell you that the people that are happier are the ones that are getting the check. The checks that come every week, every month.
Yes. And especially when there's cost of living planning put into that or built into it. So, so there's other variables about this too that I think of in terms of, comparing it, what the guarantees are in annuities compared to the planning, of using securities. And with annuities, you actually get those contractual guarantees that instead of maybe 3 to 4% on the securities, you jump up to 4.5% to up to 6% or 6.5%, depending on the age.
Depending on your age, depending on joint or single lifetime. And that is truly what people look at when they're looking at what do I have to give up in my lump sum in order to get a contractual guarantee that I won't run out of money. And that's the benefit that the annuities come into. And so for a lot of people, it's looking at that cake and eat it too scenario where it's looking at, rather than using the old style of immediate annuity where you truly are giving up your lump sum.
Right.
It's saying, let me have the contractual guarantee.
Keep some control over my money.
I'm not going to run out of money.
Right.
The insurance company is going to guarantee it. If I don't live a long life, there's still dollars there to go on to heirs.
Well, and two, you take that same $1 million, and we talk to so many pre-retirees that are in that 50-year-old, 45, 55-year-old range that are really they're people who think ahead. You know, they're kind of progressive in their thoughts about retirement, and some of them are ready to retire at 55. But for those that can actually take that money and park it for 10 years with contractual guarantees, they can get the equivalent 10 years later of $2 million.
Right.
And we all know that, you know, the market isn't necessarily going to do that.
Right.
I mean, it could do better, but we've had a lost decade recently we're all aware of, you know. So take that money, park it, get contractual guarantees, turn it into the equivalent amount of money to draw off of that would be the equivalent of a couple million. Now you're talking, you know, some decent income.
Yeah, and we're also very big fans of diversification. You know,
Right.
You know, taking a piece that you know you want foundationally secure, put it in a place where you have those guarantees, then you feel more comfortable with the ups and downs of the market.
Sure. You know, just balancing a portfolio properly. So, Eric, will $1 million be enough for, let's just say, for most folks if they structure? I'm really loading this question here.
For most folks, and the fancy answer is always, it depends.
It does.